How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Patriot DIY channel. In this video, we're going to solve a problem that a lot of us have, and that is rust on the table saw. Now, I have to admit this is a little embarrassing because I have accumulated a good bit of rust on this table saw, mostly from the summer humidity, probably a little bit of neglect, and of course we all have that friend that comes over and this happens. Hey, thanks for having me over, man. I really like your shop. Well, so sit tight, guys. I'm going to show you how to remove all that rust, clean the saw top, and protect it to hopefully prevent this from happening again in the future. All right, guys, so as you can see, I do have a light layer of rust in some spots here on the table saw. Nothing too major. There's no pitting or anything. It's just a light layer, and you can definitely feel it on there. It makes that surface a little rougher, and you can even see it coming off on my fingers. So if your saw top is starting to look like mine, don't worry, this can be fixed as long as you haven't let it get too bad. Now, I want to try to avoid using any heavy sandpapers or chemical rust removers or anything like that, at least at this stage. If your saw is worse than this, then you may have to start looking at some of those. But the level that I'm at here, there is a pretty simple process for removing that and getting it back clean. So once we get that saw top good and clean and remove all the rust, I have a couple products here from Carbon Method that we're gonna apply to this. So we'll be able to clean it further, give it a protective coating, and they even have this carbon glide that's gonna make it nice and slick on top and ready for your next project. But before we get into all that, guys, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. All right, guys, so first for the rust removal and cleaning process. This is gonna be pretty simple. The only thing you're gonna need is some WD-40, one of these maroon 3M abrasive pads. Now, I definitely recommend using the maroon one, not the green one. So the green one is gonna be a little too abrasive and really scratch up the saw top. This maroon one is a little finer and seems to be the perfect one for this application. Now, you can do this just by hand with a little elbow grease, but I prefer to use my random orbital sander to kind of speed the process along a little bit. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go back and wipe the whole thing down with a little mineral spirits just to make sure we get off all that residue and get it good and clean before we put our carbon coat on there. Now, don't forget, guys, as usual, I will have links to everything I'm using in the description below. These maroon abrasive pads, the Carbon Method, and all of that stuff. So if you have a saw or any other cast iron tabletop that needs a little TLC, you can follow this same process. Now let's get this table saw cleaned up. All right, so starting out, I'm gonna do this just one section at a time, so hopefully I can give you a good before and after. So I'm just gonna spray on my WD-40, put on a good amount, then we'll slap our 3M pad on the random orbital sander and get after it. Now once that's done, I'm just going to use these blue shop towels to wipe off all that excess. You can see all that coming off of here. And you can already tell a huge difference between this and this. This is a lot brighter. All of that rust is gone. Now, I do still see some light staining in a couple spots. That's no big deal. That's not rust. There's no pitting there. That's just a little stain in that cast iron. This is a tool, guys, and as you use it, you are gonna get some little marks and stuff here and there, but something like that is not gonna affect the performance of the saw or anything like that. Now I'm gonna go back and follow that same process for the other sections of the saw. Then I'll probably go back and give it one more go before moving on to the other cleaner from Carbon Method. Now I'm going to reinstall the plate, and we're going to go back with some mineral spirits just to clean off any leftover WD-40 and get this surface as clean as we can before we start with the carbon method. All right guys, now that we've got the surface clean and free of rust, we're ready for the carbon method products. There are 3 products we're going to be applying here today. The first is the Carbon Cleanse. That is just going to be a heavy duty cleaner that's going to get off any leftover oils or anything like that that's on the surface and prepare it for the coating. Next is going to be the Carbon Coat. This is going to work pretty similarly to a ceramic coat that you would put on your vehicle. It's a very thin, hard coat that goes over the top to protect the surface from scratches and any further rust or staining or anything like that. And finally, the Carbon Glide. That's going to be the final coating that gives this a nice, slick, smooth surface. So your substrates are just going to slide right across the top of this table saw nice and smooth. And once we do that, we should be good to go. The carbon method kit that we have here is also going to come with all the applicator pads, the applicator, and the microfiber towels, everything you need to apply this to your table saw or any other tool you plan to coat with this. Now you are also going to want to wear gloves for the remainder of this process just to make sure you don't get any oils from your fingers on the surface. That's important because anything that is on this surface before you put the carbon coat on here is going to be locked in underneath that carbon coat. So oils from your fingers and stuff like that could still cause rust underneath the coating. So you want to make sure you're protected from that. Don't forget guys, this carbon method kit and everything is going to be linked in the description below if you want to get this for yourself. Now let's get to work. All right guys, the first thing we're going to use here is this Carbon Cleanse Decontaminator. This is going to be a heavy duty cleaner specifically designed to remove any residue or solvents from your cast iron surfaces. We're just going to spray a healthy amount of this all over our work surface. And then just go back with some blue shop towels. We're going to be spreading this around, making sure we get a nice coat all the way around. And you can see we definitely did still have some stuff on there we needed to get off. And we're gonna go back and do that one more time and also make sure we get down in these miter slots. This stuff can leave streaks, so I'm gonna switch to a clean towel and go ahead and buff out any of those streaks that was left behind from the Carbon Cleanse. All right guys, the next product we're going to put on here is the coating itself. This is the Carbon Coat. It's a hard graphene coating specifically designed for these cast iron work surfaces. Now you are going to need to shake this well before application. You can hear there's a few BBs down in there to help with that process. So we're going to get this shaken up good and get ready to apply it. Now your kit is going to come with a few different things. You have your applicator pad, your applicator cloth, and then this locking dowel. So the way this works is you put your applicator cloth down, you're gonna put the applicator pad right in the middle, then just fold this cloth over to the middle on both sides, pulling in any excess, and then you're gonna put the locking dowel down into this groove, and that's gonna lock it in place. That way you can use the same pad with multiple applicator cloths as many times as you want. Now again, I wanna shake this stuff up between each application, and then we're just going to shake it out onto our applicator pad all along the middle there, just like that. Then we're going to lay it flat on the edge here and pull straight across at the bottom. We're going to be working one section at a time, and I'm going to start by just doing a box all the way around this section. And then we're going to go back and pull from this bottom edge straight up all the way across the surface, spreading it evenly. You don't have to put a lot of force here. You're just dragging it across. And then to make sure we got it good, we're gonna start back here and go back in the other direction. And we're gonna be slightly overlapping with each pass. And this stuff dries really fast, that's why we're doing it one section at a time. Now we're just gonna let that sit and dry for 1 to 2 minutes. Then you'll notice there's a 45-degree angle here on our applicator pad. That's for the leveling process. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold the applicator at that 45-degree and just drag it very lightly across the surface. I'm not really putting any pressure here. This is just to level out and knock down any high spots that may be in that carbon coating. Now we're just gonna let that sit and dry for 1 to 2 minutes and then go back and buff it off with one of the supplied microfiber towels. All right guys, we're just gonna fold this microfiber towel into quarters here and then start to buff. Now you can feel that coating kind of grab at the towel at first, but then as you work it in, it gets smoother and smoother. Not putting a whole lot of pressure, just buffing in circular motions here. Pretty similar to the way you would with paste wax or something like that. Now I'm going to put on another applicator cloth and we're just going to work our way down section by section. We'll start, next will be here in the middle, then this section, and we're also going to coat the extension table here just because. And I'm going to leave the throat plate in just to get a nice coating on that as well. And as I mentioned, I'm just going to turn this applicator on its side and also get down inside these miter slots. Maybe just do a couple passes through there. All right guys, now that we've got one coat on the entire cast iron surface, we're gonna wait 1 hour and then go back and coat it again. Carbon Method recommends that you do this 3 or 4 times. I'll probably do 4. I am also gonna go back and do the extension table here, but I wanna make sure I have enough to complete the cast iron surface before I move on to that. So all in all, with multiple coatings, this process is gonna take you about 3 or 4 hours. And then you'll need to wait 24 to 48 hours before applying the carbon glide over the top. All right guys, it has been 24 hours since we cleaned and coated this table saw top. And I gotta be honest with you guys, this is just beautiful. I haven't seen this type of shine on this table saw really ever. But today we're not just cleaning and protecting, we're actually gonna improve its functionality with this carbon glide from Carbon Method. This is a compound you're going to use kind of in the place of paste wax or something like that. You spray this on there, buff it off, and the result is supposed to be a super slick surface that your materials can just glide across. It also acts as another layer of protection for your saw as you're pushing materials across it. So let's see how that works. All right guys, so I'm just going to spray a healthy coat of this carbon glide all over the saw. Get it down in those miter slots too, on the throat plate and on the extension wing. And I'm going to use my blue shop towel just to spread it around so it has an even coat. I'm not applying any pressure, I'm just spreading it. Then we wait 1 minute and buff it off. All right, it's been 1 minute, so I'm just gonna use my microfiber to wipe off any excess and kind of buff it in a little bit. Then I'm just going to go back and recoat it one more time with the Carbon Glide. Now you can go back and reapply this Carbon Glide weekly or monthly, just depending on the use of your saw, the same way you would a paste wax or something like that. Now to the hand, it definitely feels very smooth, but just out of curiosity, I want to see how well a board would glide across this. Feels very smooth, at least as good as paste wax, if not better. All right guys, I gotta say, my table saw wasn't even this clean and shiny the day I assembled it, and it hasn't been any day since. So I am thrilled with the results we got. That WD-40 and the 3M pad did a great job of getting rid of all that rust. Now, of course, I do still have some light staining here and there. You can still see that ring from the can that was placed on there, but the actual rust is gone, and I don't mind a little light staining. This is a tool, and over the life of any tool, if you actually use it, you're gonna get some stuff like that. But it's now as clean as it's ever been, and it's protected. I'm really confident about that Carbon Method product that we put on here. Most reports from other people that have used this product say that it works well. Of course, time will tell on that. And I was especially happy with the Carbon Glide. Made it super slick, and true to its name, any material that I've pushed across it seems to just glide right over the top. So I'm very happy with this entire process. If you have a table saw that needs cleaning and protecting, I hope this video helped you out, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are there other methods and other products that you guys like to use? Make sure you let us know. And don't forget, guys, I will have links to everything we used, including the Carbon Method system, linked in the description below so you can get it for yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.